Hi, I'm Natalie Clountz Bauman, and I'm the author of this book, Texoma Tales, that's now available on Amazon and at various places in Grayson County. And I want to read a story from this book that I think you might find entertaining. It's about my family, and it's called Don't Mess with This Texan, and it's a story I wrote about my mother, Florence Clountz. There was a famous motto, don't mess with Texans, and don't mess with Texas. Around rural Partsburg in the 60s and 70s, the motto was, don't mess with Florence Clountz at night, or really any time. Daddy worked a night shift at Lowe's Highport Resort, so Mama was alone most nights of the week. He passed away in 1969, so she was a widow, and she learned to watch out for herself. She had a pistol, a shotgun, a rifle, and she didn't mind using them. She could swing a wicked hoe, too. She was a little woman, but wiry. Large 6-foot chicken snakes were not safe around her. And she always had her hoe sharpened, that's for sure. And here she is showing that she was comfortable with firearms, and there she is with her big stick wielding her hoe. Nighttime spooked her though, and she didn't like what she couldn't see. If we came into the house when it was dark, she would have to go through the whole house and look to make sure nobody was hiding anywhere before we settled in for the night. I pity the person who was ever found hiding in her house. Even if she didn't use a gun on them, she would probably just gripe them to death. If she heard a suspicious noise outside or thought somebody was trying to get into the house, she would open the small bathroom window or the dining room window, which had screens on them. Warn whoever it was, you better move, you better run, or I'm going to shoot. And then she did. She shot the gun right out the window. Those window screens started looking like Swiss cheese, and they were useless at keeping insects out, and they were useless at keeping bullets in, as it turned out. And there's the windows in question. Just before Daddy died, he finished a house next door to our old one that he intended for us to move into, but when he died, Mama never did move. And we ended up renting it out to several different people for next to nothing, including Mama's sister Jessie and her son Russell. And they wanted to rent it one night, and we took them in to have a look at the house. And as we went through the front door, when the door opened, I could see through the crack, and I could see there was a guy hiding behind the door through the crack. And the guy, he made eye contact with me, and I told Mama, I said, there's a guy hiding behind the door. And she didn't believe me because I was just a kid. So we went into the back of the house, and when we went into the back of the house, we heard him running out the front door. And we rushed out, and you could see the tracks where he had left, and he was not seen again. He may have wanted a free place to stay that night, but I guess he thought it wasn't worth it to tangle with Mama after dark. She might have had her gun. All the family knew to approach our house with caution at night, and probably the word had got out into the community at large. I vividly remember one night her nephew Roger Cook came over. He's an old school cowboy. He looks like he came right out of the Old West. Pretty rough looking customer. And he looks just like his grandpa, James Jackson Cook. And this is Mama and her sister, Lottie, with her Mama and Daddy, James Jackson Cook and Nora Cook. But a man's got to know his limitations, and Roger knew his. When he drove into our yard, he knew to park close to the road for a quick getaway, honk really loud because Mama was hard of hearing, and partially open the driver's door to use it as a shield and wait behind it until he heard her issue the warning that she was about to shoot, or until she turned on the light and saw him. Well, this time she saw him and said, "Who is it?" He yelled as loud as he could several times because she couldn't hear. "Don't shoot, it's me, Roger Cook, your nephew." And he wisely didn't leave the safety of his truck till he got all the way clear. And she said, "Oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I know it's you, Roger." And she could see that he was a friendly and said he could come in. It said enemies don't invade American soil, because, especially Texas, because they know that there's a gun behind every blade of grass here. Doggone right. Don't mess with Texans.